Oh, Meg 2! The Meg 2! Welcome to Mirror Domains Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. And indeed, this is a live news show where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day, including Lord of War 2. Is that really happening? And will Nicolas Cage be back? We got some Guardians of the Galaxy 3 Cameo news to talk about. We got a first image from Welcome to Derry, the prequel series to It. The first reviews for The Little Mermaid are coming in, and are they good or are they bad? We will indeed be talking about that today. But we start off today's show by talking about that Meg 2 trailer that dropped yesterday. Meg 2, The Trench trailer previews Jason Statham versus Giant Shark rematch. Now, I was a little bit late to the first Meg movie, but I eventually saw it. As far as, let's face it, guys, it was not Shakespeare. It wasn't supposed to be Shakespeare. It was tongue-in-cheek. He punches a shark in the first movie and it looks like he's going to kick a shark in this movie. I wasn't really expecting, like, Shakespeare or top tier talent with this, but getting that from the trailer. I'll pull up the trailer here in a few minutes. I accidentally closed that tab. I liked what I saw. Let me know if you guys had seen it, and we will talk about it. Sorry, the trailer tab that I had opened, I accidentally closed, so we are opening it now. Meg 2. There we go. Not from Entertainment Tonight. I already watched it, so there we go. Rotten Tomatoes. There we go. Let's do it. Now, the trailer kind of starts off with this prehistoric thing, just trying to establish that, yeah, the Meg was out there in prehistoric times. A T-Rex comes charging through the forest and eats a bunch of little smaller dinosaurs. Oops, I guess I didn't turn that on the audio for you guys. I'm not going to watch it entirely here, guys. I'm really trying to get away from these trailer reactions because while they're fun, it's just everybody puts them out. The people that get like the biggest traction on it are kind of like, I don't know. It's just not worthwhile for me to risk putting it up there. So a T-Rex comes out, and then a Meg comes out of the waters onto the beach to grab that T-Rex. It does scratch it, and then somehow goes back into the ocean. What is that? 44 seconds of the trailer is just that. If you were to look at it like some kind of VFX reel for kids right out of, college, and they're kind of like, well, here's a dinosaur piece that we were working on. That's what I sort of got from the opening sequence. And I don't even know if this will show up in the movie. You know how some trailers have like scenes in it that are just kind of like there, but they don't actually get shown in the movie? I'll be honest with you guys. It's not the greatest CG, but you're not watching it for the visual effects. You're not watching it for great acting or great storytelling. So it looks like they're back with the underwater system where they're going into the trench again. And then there's two of them down there. There's more of them down there. There's like a squid down there too or something, right? And Statham comes in and is like, this didn't work out so good before.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Just know what you're signing up for. Just a fun popcorn flick. There's some underwater creatures. One of the worm kind of things. Did they actually go underwater to film this just like the Avatar movies? No. But just know that it's schlock. It's fun. My criticisms were that it doesn't look like a real shark. But it's a Meg. It was just basically a larger size gray white, but for some reason they seem to be, and this was my criticism of the first movie too. They want to make it have like scars. They want to make it cartoonish. They want to give it shades of things like
biggest bag anyone's ever seen.
I don't know why. For me, as soon as they make it too much like a cartoon monster, then it loses its menace. Like this should be menacing, right? But for me, it's kind of like meh. But again, as I said, don't worry about that. When I go see this, I'll be just like turning off my brain with my bag of popcorn, going. I'll be trying to turn off the critical part of my brain that says, yeah, that doesn't look. Whatever.
Three massive eggs and who knows what else to escape the breach.
Yeah, will there be an attack on the town? Yeah. Or on the like beach properties? Yeah. And then he kicks a shark. Okay. Well, he only punched one last time. There's just something about it that just doesn't, like, the CG over effect of it. That's why you got to ride the campiness of it, because it doesn't look real. You're just laughing at the fact that there's two people on vacation that are about to get, not really their comeuppance, but kind of like, ooh, they're going to get swallowed by this shark. And that's the gag, right? That's the gag. Yeah. Meg 2, it's a gag. Ooh, I'm standing by this glass that it can't break. Oh, I guess I was wrong. Oh, but and then it teases towards the end Sharktopus. So I'm actually kind of on board with that. When I saw this just by myself, I was like, that's Sharktopus. We're gonna get Sharktopus. Cool. That's what I want to see, right? Takes down a helicopter. So we are going to get like a big octopus versus the Meg. And let me guess, the Meg is going to be turning out to be on the good side, right? There's Statham on top of a big wave, getting ready to take out one of the sharks. Meg 2. So as I said, it does ride that fine line of cheese and campiness. And if you go just like this is a fine line. Where even if you go over just a little bit of that line, you've immediately gone into this is schlock. This is garbage, right? The first movie kind of danced around that a little bit, and I think it was just on the safe side. But this one, if they ramp it up, I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna be received. Big shark movies, they still haven't solved it yet because the Black Demon came out earlier this year, and it just totally flew under the radar. It didn't come out in most theaters, and that was a big shark movie too, but that didn't, like, nobody talked about it. So it's kind of like they still haven't broken that formula. And I think it's because they still haven't made the shark look real. Like a real shark. Like somebody got in the water and filmed the shark, but it was just huge, right? That's all you really need to do. Like, it doesn't look like a shark that you would see on the Discovery Channel. It looks like it's CG. It's a cartoon. And I'm probably going to be in the minority of it, but as I said, it's just a fun little thing. So let me stop ranting about that and see what the comments are. They are all going out on this one, 3 megs, a giant octopus, and other creatures. This movie is going to be a blast. Well, yeah, that's what you want. That's what you would hope for, right? It's just a Roger Corman film. It is Sharktopus. It's just with a little bit of a bigger budget, right? LMO, the couple trying to get away from the bicycle boat thing had me rolling. Yeah, so again, it's that cheekiness. Instead of taking this serious, they're going all out, we're having some fun with the concept. I like it. Well, yeah, but that's the thing. As I said, using Sharktopus and Sharknado as examples of lines where they've gone over the line of cheesiness, where it's just like whatever. That's the line that I'm talking about. Where this, even for like the casual person out there, they'll look at it and they'll say, "Well, that's B movie material, right?" I'm not interested in that. So I'll give it a fair shake, though. I may be talking like I'm not interested in it now, but if anybody who knows me, who knows the channel, and knows that I'll give it a fair shake whenever it comes time. Byford in live chat says some say Little Mermaid is fantastic. Yeah, we'll take a look at that in just a moment. Arglet says love the look of the Meg 2. Definitely a theater run for that one. Meg 2. This time the shark has scars and friends. Yeah, yeah, but there was 2 in the first one as well, right? Fish and friends, not food. Yeah. I don't know. As I said, I think I'm probably going to be in the minority in that one. Just from what the comment sections in that trailer were, I think most people liked it. Okay. Well, those are my thoughts on the Meg 2. I just got to keep it honest. There are my other social medias, guys, in case you wanted to know. You can find like extended versions of our shorts and stuff. You can see stories and stuff on TikTok and Instagram. Come join us, and yeah, you'll feel what you'll see stuff that you don't see here on the main channel. A Weaver says Meg 2. Whoops, Meg 2. Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the CGI water. Yeah, yeah. Well, there's that too. I don't know. Yeah. Let's keep on with the water theme. The Little Mermaid comes out later this month. In fact, May 26th is when it hits theaters, and we got our first reactions in. The Little Mermaid first reactions from the premiere. Okay, so this will hit theaters from May 26th. I'll be seeing it on the 25th. I am extremely hyped for this movie. This is one that I'm like keeping my fingers crossed that this one is going to be good. Yeah, my little apprehension though is just that it's a little bit long. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes, but you know what? They had their big premiere last night, and we got some social media reactions. So let's take a look at what some people are saying. The Little Mermaid is a live-action remake that retains the heart and soul of the story we know and love. Well, see, I haven't seen the cartoon one, so this will be my first exposure to this story. And it's elevated even further by a note-perfect star-making performance from Halle Bailey. She was born to be on the big screen, and she's why this new take is worth watching. Yeah, so some praise for Halle Bailey there. Maybe we should watch the... What do you guys think? Should I watch the animated one before I see the live action one? Should we do a watch along for that? I don't know. I kind of want my first exposure to the Little Mermaid story to be this live action one, just so that I can be like of a different perspective on it, right? Disney's Little Mermaid is definitely one of the better live action adaptations. Halle Bailey pours incredible emotion into Ariel, and I got chills watching her. While Melissa McCarthy's Ursula and David Diggs' Sebastian steal scenes all day. Byford says, watch party today. Well, maybe. I got to take a call here at 12 o'clock, so we'll be ending a little bit short. The Little Mermaid is a tribute to all the little girls to dream big. Halle Bailey is sheer magic, and David Diggs is a delight as Sebastian. So, lots of praise for Halle Bailey. Lots of praise for David Diggs. No word yet on Javier Bardem. Melissa McCarthy. Okay, somebody says something about Javier Bardem. Charming, but incredibly spotty. Halle Bailey, Jonah Howard-King, Melissa McCarthy, and Javier Bardem put their heart and souls into a film that can't escape its animated legacy. Best when it leans into campy bonkers, yet limits its fantasy elements for no reason. Fascinating. So that's a little bit of a more harsher criticism, saying that the film can't escape its animated legacy. So again, there's that perspective of somebody who's seen it before. What the? Oh, sorry, I accidentally clicked on the link. There's somebody with the perspective, like that's going to be definitely a percentage of the audience that there's going to be that crowd of people who've seen the animated version. But then there's going to be people who haven't, right? And the people who haven't seen it are going to be like small minority, because this will be just like people who had the original experience want to see how this is being adapted, right? It's real simple. Are you excited for the Little Mermaid? You'll like it. It's exactly what you think it is. Are you skeptical? And worried about it? That's valid too. It looks weird and disjointed. Bailey is great. McCarthy rules and the songs work, but it just feels so unnecessary. Unnecessary, huh? All right. Well, Hollywood Reporter's got a bunch of them up there. The Little Mermaid is fantastic. Rob Marshall's great direction gives us one of Disney's best live-action remakes and a joyful theatrical experience. Halle Bailey is perfect in Ariel and is the heart of this movie. Is perfect as Ariel and is the heart of this movie. It's an enchanting journey under the sea. And I can't wait to rewatch. Well, I thought I'd pull up one of my more trusted reviewers with Perry Nemiroff. What did she say? She said Halle Bailey is the Little Mermaid. An angelic voice, the longing in her eyes, the chemistry with Jonah Hauer-King, she's flawless. The movie overall isn't, but there's more than enough charm, heart, and adventure there to power it forward. So, why isn't it? That's what I'm thinking. Is like, is there like some pacing issues in there? This is not full reviews yet, right? This is just first glance stuff. Melissa McCarthy is deliciously devilish as Ursula. Some of my favorite effects work comes in the third act and focuses on her, and David Diggs is stellar as Sebastian, a favorite of the film by far. There's lots of praise there for Sebastian and Halle Bailey. First reviews for The Little Mermaid are in, and people are digging it. People are liking it. A Weaver says, I think it would be cool to go in blind. I haven't seen the original either. Okay, so yeah, maybe I will. I'm thinking maybe I will. I'm not going to do a watch along for maybe we can do that one after. The week after it comes out, right? You compare both live action and animation in any order. The story is basically the same. Okay. Well, then we'll do it from that perspective. So I'll watch the one in the theater at the end of the month, and then we'll do a full watch along after that one for that. So far, the initial impressions of The Little Mermaid seem to be overwhelmingly thumbs up. There was only that little one in there that was kind of like, meh. All right. Welcome to Derry. Andy Muschietti shares an image from the set of its prequel series. So this is a production that obviously seems to not be hit by the writer's strike because it still seems to be rolling. Now, Welcome to Derry is the prequel series. I think it was going to be 8 parts to the It movie that was going to be talking about how Pennywise, I guess, came into power. Stephen King had this to say about the series. I'm excited that the story of Derry, Maine's most haunted city, is continuing, and I'm glad that Andy Muschietti is going to be overseeing the frightening festivities, along with the brain trust included, his talent sister Barbara, red balloons all around. Muschietti added, as teenagers, we took turns reading the chapters of Stephen King's It until the thick paperback fell into pieces. It's an epic story that contains multitudes far beyond what we can explore in the It movies. We can't wait to share the depths of Steve's novel in all of its heart, humor, and humanity and horror. So all the image that we got here from Andy Muschietti is just Chief of Police Clint Bowers. Bowers. So Bowers was the last name of the bully, right? Whose hair turned white and then came back to bully them. And then I guess he killed his old man by shoving the razor blade into his throat while he was sleeping or something. So I guess that's going to be like his old man or something. His dad is the chief of police. So I was going to say Eddie Bowers, but no, what's the first name? Bowers. I forgot. But anyway, there we go. Yeah. And it's still not being reported that Bill Skarsgård is going to be back as Pennywise. So I don't know if we're going to see the clown version of Pennywise in this. And if we do, it's possible. Oh, Henry Bowers. Thanks, A. Weaver. It's possible if we do see Pennywise, it's not going to be Bill Skarsgård. Because we do not yet have him listed in the cast. Which is kind of shocking, actually. If it's about how the It monster comes and terrorizes the town, the 26, because it comes every 26 years, right? It follows the events in the 1960s, so before the kids, right? The time leading up to the events of the first film, because it comes every 26 years, right? James Remar's in this, Madeline Stowe, Chris Chalk, Taylor Page, but yeah, Chad Rook. I don't see Skarsgård on here, and it gives me pause. Why would you do that? Because we know that the clown showed up before the 26 years before the kids, right? We know that the clown was around like 2 or 3 cycles before that. So it just gives me like, why are they keeping this all secret? It gives me a little bit of pause. It does. But we know that the Bowers family line will be there. Clint Bowers, father of Henry. First image from Andy Muschietti. Yeah, I had to take a look at that. Pamela Voorhees, welcome to Derry. Yeah, well, if they change up a little bit of the mythos, then are you really staying true to the source material? I don't know. We'll have to see. Okay, Lord of War. Were you guys fans of the first Lord of War? Lord of War sequel finds Nicolas Cage and Bill Skarsgård locked and loaded for lead roles. Well, talking about Bill Skarsgård, he's going to be in Lord of War 2. Actually, I really like the first Lord of War, but it was based on the real guy, a real person who just got let go, actually. So it's one of those things where, yeah, it was based on what this real guy did. He was an arms merchant, and he did end up going to jail because he did break the law. In the movie Lord of War, he doesn't go to jail because he rats out other people and he makes a deal with the government and stuff like that. Nicolas Cage was good in it. Jared Leto played his brother in it, and actually, I liked the movie quite a bit. But then once you learn that it was based on the real guy, it's kind of like that American Sniper movie, right? It's kind of like, oh, well, I like Bradley Cooper and I like Clint Eastwood directing. But then once you realize, when you learn about the real guy, what it was based on, and you're like, that guy was actually not a good dude. And the guy that the movie Lord of War was based on was not a good dude. He's not a good dude, even though they kind of portrayed him as someone you can sympathize with in the first movie, right? I think a lot of that had to do with Nicolas Cage. You just like Nicolas Cage, right? If you don't know, the real guy, he was just let out of prison in a prisoner exchange with Russia because he was part of that deal that let Brittany Griner, or whatever her name is, the basketball player that got busted for having a little bit of some weed or something like that in her bag or in a pipe or something. Some residue or something was left. And in that prisoner exchange, he was one of the guys that was let go, I think. I'm pretty sure that's happened. But the moral implications of it aside, I do like Nicolas Cage, and he's having a bit of a resurgence here. And Bill Skarsgård, we just saw him in John Wick Chapter 4. He was really good in that. And hopefully he does come back in some capacity for that Welcome to Derry series that we're going to get. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that one. But I guess this one is going to get off the ground. Now, I don't know if it's going to take place. Well, it's still probably going to take place. Well, if you know what happens in the first movie, it's going to take place after that one, obviously. Arms dealer, yeah. The plot includes a father-son twist with Skarsgård playing Orlov's son, Anton. What? Lord of War sequel, Anton tries to top his father's wrongs instead of stopping them. As he launches a mercenary army to fight America's Middle East conflicts. Yeah. Um, there's so much to explore with these characters. Plato said it best. Sorry. Only the dead have seen the end of war. I'm looking forward to spending more time in the company of the charming devil that is Yuri Orlov, and now is his illegitimate son, who turns out to not be legitimate in any way. The director said. Okay, so he's gonna have a son. Does wait? Are they gonna have to age up Nicolas Cage, right? Because Bill Skarsgård's not. He's not a. He's not his spring chicken anymore. He's like in his 30s, right? 32, the son of Nicolas Cage. I don't know. Well, I guess that could work maybe. Lord of War 2 Succession. Well, I mean, I'll check it out. It just, as I said, it's like that. What is that? That Joe Exotic. Like once you realize that this dude was not a good dude, right? It's just kind of like it gives you that. Ugh, should I really be watching it? It's kind of like that series about that con girl on Netflix that went to jail for conning people about a whole bunch of money, and now she's out and stuff like that. You're like, do I really want to watch this series about this woman who cheated people out of a whole bunch of money and pretended to be like a big, huge socialite, and now she's in jail and trying to make money off of it too, being an influencer, and it's like, do you really want to give your money to that kind of stuff? I don't know. I'm kind of mixed about it, to tell you the truth. I like it because of Nicolas Cage, but for the most part, the casual movie fans out there, they won't know that stuff. They won't know the real person behind it and stuff. So they'll just look at it and say, "Oh, Lord of War, I like that movie." Oh, was it based on somebody who was real? Yeah, it was. But anyway, that's just me because I know a little bit more of the insider stuff. Okay. Sorry that we're going through some of these stories fast, but we have to today because I got to get off like around 11:55. Some live comment says, E. Weaver, it comes to in many forms besides Pennywise, so anything goes. Still, I have to believe Skarsgård will make it, so I hope so. For the Welcome to Derry, some appearances, yeah. I didn't mind Lord of War, Arglass Viking says, though the character's private life was a tad tawdry. Yeah. Yeah. Lord of War 2 Succession. Yeah, every Succession is just one of those series that it's gonna come and go, and I'm gonna miss it, just like Breaking Bad. It came and went, and I missed it. I don't know if I'm ever gonna go back and revisit it. Anyway, let's continue on with Guardians of the Galaxy 3 reveals a cameo. Pete Davidson cameo. Wow, Pete Davidson was in this. Now, it's not a big spoiler or anything like that, whose character is. So it's not something that reveals something about the plot. But we know that Pete Davidson worked with James Gunn for the Suicide Squad. And, yeah, so they're friends. They're chums. James Gunn pulls up a tweet here where he reveals the character. And I will just pull that up now. Okay. So he says, I voiced the beautiful Lambshank. I don't want to show her here because she's too gorgeous. I don't want folks to feel bad about themselves in comparison. And my friend Pete Davidson not only voiced, but actually came to visit us on the Atlanta set for a day and played Peltekit on set. So there's Pete Davidson with the cast. Who's the character that he played? This guy. That's who he played. Is that a spoiler? Not really. There he is with the crew. I know what set this is, too. I know where the set is. Now, see, that revealing what the set is and where they are, that's a little bit of a spoiler. But, like, seeing this stuff, that's not a spoiler. Good movie, man. I want to see this movie again. I do, and I hope it rides a little bit of a wave here, because as I said, this next week there's not much coming out. So it's going to have one more week here before Fast 10 comes out, and then it'll get completely demolished by Fast 10. But Pete Davidson Cameo, Guardians of the Galaxy. Then now the next time that you watch it, you'll be looking out for that character in those particular scenes. You'll be like, oh, I know who that is. That's Pete Davidson. Surprising that I didn't see the name in the credits, because I did stay for both the post-credit scenes. Yeah. Now to some unpleasant news. The writer's strike. Studios to suspend some first look and overall deals amid writer's strike. Yeah. And I'm getting the buzz here that I think studios are starting to dig in for the long haul on this one, which is not good news. Hopefully it doesn't go until August, because that would suck, man. That would just... But it sounds like they're starting to dig in their heels and saying, well, okay, they're going to be doing some jousting back and forth, hit me with your best shot kind of thing, right? So formal letters have not yet been sent. On the day that HBO called to suspend my deal after 25 years of writing television for them, I was doing the right thing. I wrote The Wire, posting a video from Picket Line. Yeah, Disney has sent a letter to anyone with an overall deal who currently isn't working to suspend overall deals. So this is just suspending. If you're currently working on something, writing stuff, they're sending out letters to suspend those deals right now because, well, a new agreement has to be in place, right? Which means certain non-writing producers who continue to work have not seen their deals paused. Okay, Netflix and Paramount are expected to send letters this week as well. Most studios have avoided broach the word termination, although one is said to have raised an option in the letter in order to maintain transparency. So the formality of this is starting to fall into place here. This is what I mean by digging in. That they're going through the formal process now of sending out literature to people working on projects, notifying them that this is happening. And that's what's like the stage of digging in here, is that the hopes that this would get solved in like a week or so was laughable. That wasn't going to happen. Judd Apatow thinks the studios already know when the strike will end. They already know. Huh? What? So, yeah, it seems like they want to try to make maybe somewhat go a little bit of a distance with this. Let's see what Apatow said here in his quote. As he spoke with Variety, quote, I think they probably already know what they're going to bend on. I would assume they already know what date this is going to end. They've probably been planning this for years. I always think that whatever happens, they could have figured it out already. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, if they known that it was coming for years, that yeah, they could have come to some kind of resolution already, right? When these things conclude, you never go. I understand why it took that long. It's never something so inventive and groundbreaking and that you think, oh, people need to go to war for months over it. It's always a very obvious position. So that's what's scary about this, that there is a solution, but I'm not sure all of the business interests are interested in getting to it quickly. We have some systems now that do not reward success for a lot of these projects. If you make something and 1 billion people watch it, you don't want to make more money. What? Hold on here. What? We have a system now that does not reward success for a lot of these projects. See, that's a very striking statement right there. If you make something and 1 billion people watch it, you don't make more money than if it was a disaster. Oh, okay. You don't make more money if it's a disaster. So he's saying that if it makes 1 billion, if it makes a lot of people watch it, you get paid the same, right? That's not good for creativity because it takes away a lot of the motivation for the creative people, because people work really hard to create something sort of cushion for their lives. Oh, so it's saying, well, I don't care if it's a garbage script. I get paid the same amount, so I'm not going to put that much effort into it. That's a double-edged sword there, Apatow, because what you're also saying is that while the writer's strike people are trying to fight for equal rights in a certain way, or not equal rights, but for fair pay, to get their fair shot, that they want to have a certain stability that they can, go work on a TV show and say, oh, I'm going to be able to pay my house's mortgage with this job that I'm signing up for, instead of like being offered a job that's only like, maybe you'll work 3 weeks on this, maybe you won't, that kind of deal, right? That's what the WGA is trying to push for, like a little bit more stability. But the double-edged sword about that is that you're making the argument that if you get that comfort level, then people don't have to deliver product, quality product. So you see what I mean? Yeah, you fight for all these rights, but then once you get into that comfortable spot where you're like, oh yeah, I'm good here, there's no incentive to try to create better. That's the thing. That's the thing here, is that it's an art form. Writing is an art form. Creating cinema is an art form. And there's a fine line there where the business aspect, and I do agree that this is a very convoluted process for sure. It's just, there's that fine line where, yeah, I'm a Maple Leaf. I'm a Toronto Maple Leaf. I just signed the big contract, but why do I have to go out on the ice and perform? You just signed me. I'll just go out there and skate my 20 minutes, and if we win, we win. I don't really care. That's pretty much what Apatow's argument is there, right? Am I not reading that properly? Is that I'm a writer now, so I don't have to. It makes no difference to me if the project makes $1 billion or not. But if somehow they made an incentive in there, so yeah, craft the story. Don't just slap something together by using Chat GPT and saying, "Oh, there's my work." Right? I don't know. It's so complex. That's just like a very new, like surface level appreciation of it, right? Succession is so good, guys. It seems like it would be awful, but it's great. Okay. Well, I don't doubt that the acting in it is great. It's just, I heard that it's just kind of like bad people doing bad things. I don't know. That's what they want, residuals, better residuals. They should get paid more per view. Well, there's that too, right? It's kind of like, well, what YouTube is. Like, you want that kind of a model where the more, like YouTube tries to drive you towards making videos that people want to watch. If I wanted, like, we've done this now for over a year and a half, right? Or close to a year and a half of me doing the live streams every day, doing movie news stuff. It just doesn't get the views. It doesn't get pushed out to the people that should be watching this stuff. All the metrics and everything tells me that if I want to get the views, if I want to get the ad revenue, if I want to get the chat bonuses and stuff, I got to start doing the stuff that people want to watch, which is like the full live watch alongs. I understand that, but it's also the incentive of I got to let go of this passion of mine of talking about movie news stuff, which I won't, by the way. I'll still do this even if like 10 people only watch the video. This is because this is what I like to do. But I got to still also make those shorts and stuff that people do like to watch, right? I have fun making those too. I just don't have time during the day. And hopefully by tomorrow, I got some big announcements that will be shaking things up here on the channel a little bit. But it's going to drive us to a so much better place. Okay. You're not reading that properly. It is the residuals. Oh, AI is a huge course of sticking point as well. Yeah. All right. Maybe I am not reading that right. But it's just the quotes. Okay. Guys, as I said, whoops, I got to get out of here in about 15 minutes. So I have a call that I need to take at 12. Which reminds me I should take my phone out now. case for some reason it calls. So yeah, a few other casualties here. Daredevil again, production grinds to a halt as the strike goes on. So that there's a casualty. MCU Daredevil Reborn, according to sources, is wrapped at 1 p.m. No filming captured for today, which is kind of weird because it was already started production. So I thought for the most part that productions that had already started were going to be fine, which almost makes me think that they didn't complete the arc. They started production on this before completing all the scripts for the season, which is weird because it's supposed to have like what was it supposed to be, like a 16 episode season? Like it was a longer season than like the 6 or 8 episodes that some of the other MCU shows were going to be, right? Looks like we're done for the day. Silver Cup East as Daredevil called their day in response to the WGA Strong picket line. Yeah. Well, as I said, those stuff is going to be evolving, and we'll be talking about that as those come out. What I should do is maybe I'll publish like a video of mine, kind of like a commentary, just a standalone video of my perceptions of the writer's strike. Although I don't know if people will watch that. Again, talking about publishing stuff that people will watch, kind of thing, right? You are an exec producer and creator, so you have to do it all. Yeah, here on YouTube, I got to do it all. I'm the one that's doing all the changing in between the scenes and stuff like that. That's why you accidentally see that one on there, because I accidentally hit the wrong button. Which makes it even more mind-boggling how in blazes I do those full live watch-alongs. Yep. It's just a weird zone that I get in, and because the commands to switch is I don't have a streaming dock. Eventually I will. That's in the works. I'm going to get a streaming dock that'll make it much easier for me to do all this stuff, and hopefully soon a computer upgrade, which means I'll be streaming in 1080p instead of 720. Yeah. But anyway, that's just a little glimpse of the future. Let's talk about this Rogue One story headline that dropped. Just a bit of a curiosity of mine. Yeah, there was some other Game of Thrones spin-off series that was halted because of the writer's strike. But I just want to get into these last two stories that seem to be taking forever to load up for some reason. It's weird. I got these tabs open, so it should not be. It's like this. The page goes to sleep until I open it. There was an update for Chrome that seems to be slowing down stuff. Usually I have all these tabs open and because I like to go through and get rid of the ads. Okay, the Rogue One headline says, a better edit of Rogue One will never exist, says Tony Gilroy. Now, the director of Rogue One was Gareth Edwards, but Tony Gilroy came in at the last minute to do some reshoots for it, and he's also the showrunner for Andor. What? It was Tony Gilroy that came in to do the reshoots, right? And everybody says that he saved the movie because Gareth Edwards made a mess of a movie, and it's really his movie. It's really Gilroy's movie. It's not Gareth Edwards. He should have gotten the directing credits. I don't give that any credence. I still think it's Gareth Edwards' movie. And I know that there was like a different ending originally for it. I know that things happen in a different sequence of events. I know all that stuff. It would be curious to see. Basically saying, "Oh my God, no!" to this. You saw the best cut. I should have highlighted his quote here. Reshoots. Yeah, it was Tony Gilroy taking up to punch up the script and oversee additional filming for Rogue One's ending. And he says, someone asked him if there's a better cut, and he says, no, that was the absolute best possible version you could ever have. Oh my God, no. See, I don't like that, because then you're really trashing the base, right? I'm not going to go into any more detail when the Hollywood Reporter asked him. Yeah, I don't know. There's just different things that happen. Like some of the characters ended up surviving, and Krennic actually came down onto the beach and stuff, and they didn't blow up that tower. They had to run across the beach with the Death Star planes. It was just a different sequence of events that happened. Saw Gerrera was bald at one point a lot throughout it. I don't know. It was just weird. I actually liked Rogue One a bit, but I wouldn't say I just didn't like the tone, right? There's something about the tone I didn't like. No, that was the absolute best possible version you could have because I worked on it, because I did it. I saved the movie. Oh, God, no, no, no. There's no other cut. Well, yeah, there is another cut. I don't know. There's something about that quote that just rubs me the wrong way. Talking about rubbing people the wrong way, Richard Dreyfuss says Oscar's inclusion requirements make me vomit. So, this is going to be really touchy, but this is like the second day in a row that this quote has come up. So, no one should be telling me as an artist that I have to give in to the latest, most current idea of what morality is. Again, so there's been some inclusion requirements for movies that want to be considered for Best Picture. And he goes in to talk about, well, how could you put restrictions on art forms, right? If it's the best movie, it should be the best movie, right? Regardless of what kind of requirements, inclusion requirements are made in it. Is the gist of what he says. So, Jaws actor Margaret Hoover on PBS's Firing Line said, a minimal requirements that film have to meet related to representation and inclusion to be eligible for Best Picture Oscar, and he says they make me vomit. His quote, this is an art form. It's also a form of commerce, and it makes money, but it's an art. And no one should be telling me as an artist that I have to give in to the latest, most current idea of what morality is. So, for me, I kind of look at it that, and I agree that, yeah, there's an artistry to filmmaking. It is art. And I don't think that forcing certain like projects to have inclusion and stuff like that. And guys, I'm on the progressive side of things here. I champion, diversity, but not at the cost of like a product, right? I don't agree with that. It's kind of like there's certain lines where it's kind of like you can't cross, because then you're taking away. You're kind of like saying, James, yeah, you're an artist. I want you to paint that picture, but if you want this picture to be considered for any kind of awards, you can't use the blue paint. You can't use blue paint. It's kind of like, what? Why? Why can't I use blue paint? That's surface level of what he sort of means, right? I know some people will read into that oh, he's attacking the ability to have inclusion. He's being racist here. He's being a bigot. No, he's just saying that if you create something, you should be able to create it the way that you want it, right? Without having it should be worthy of scrutiny regardless of certain requirements. So basically, you're saying only films that have these requirements are going to be nominated, which means you're leaving off certain pieces of art off the table simply because it's got some blue paint in it. That's a little bit unjust, I would say. I agree with it. It's a delicate issue. It's a very delicate issue because if it's not handled properly, people can spin it towards bigotry and hatred and stuff like that for both sides, right? And he just goes into certain examples, like back in the 60s for Othello, somebody who was not black played a black man brilliantly, right? He calls it patronizing. I'm being told that I'll never have a chance to play Black Panther. Well, yeah, eventually. Is someone else being told that if they're not Jewish, they shouldn't play The Merchant of Venice? Yeah. Are we crazy? Well, that's where we're getting. Like, I think that we need to collectively come to an understanding that actors act. They should they still be doing blackface in 2023? No. I think Robert Downey Jr. was the last big one there that I think most people are going to accept that a white guy played a black guy on screen for Tropic Thunder, right? That will be the last time that will ever happen. But you don't go back into the past and say, "Oh, look at that." Like I call it out for like Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark that you can tell that they just pasted some eyelids on a guy to make him look Mongolian or whatever when they went over to uh, Marion's bar, right? And like you can see that in the 4K editions, and it's kind of like, right? It's there's a fine line there that I don't know. We just need to come to the understanding that it happened, and I don't think we should force stuff going forward to have certain mandates. I don't know. I guess it would depend on the material, right? Othello is different because him being black is an actual plot point. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Guys, I think I will stream later on this afternoon. I will do another stream later this afternoon. I don't know what it will be. I know that I gotta wrap things up here in like 5 minutes or so. So I'm going to just go over to the film update, see if a trailer dropped or something that I missed. Will Poulter, we just saw him as Adam Warlock. You know what would be kind of cool? You know what would be kind of interesting? Because they haven't announced Bill Skarsgård yet back for Welcome to Derry. But Will Poulter originally put out an audition for a version of Pennywise. And he was very late in the running. He was the top runner to be our Pennywise. And if they can't get Skarsgård back, like you could say that he's an alternate version of the clown before he gets into that finalized version that we know from the It movie. Maybe he's the guy that he's the clown. He's the original clown guy that the It monster bases his version off of. That would be kind of cool to see that, to see what Will Poulter can bring to the game. That he would have a chance at a crack at the clown. That would be kind of interesting. I'm just having fun here. Scarlett Johansson said she still believes in the magic of Disney, despite her legal battle with them. Oh, yeah, that nonsense. I hated that nonsense. I think it's because I could separate the creative at Disney from the business affairs department. I had great working relationships with creatives there and continue to. Good. I believe in the magic of Disney. I'm able to still appreciate that and not let the callousness of that interaction sully my relationship and history with them, because they're two separate things. She was caught up in that legal battle where she was supposed to be paid a certain amount of money because Black Widow was supposed to go out in theaters and she was supposed to get a certain revenue sharing of that from the theatrical run. But then when Black Widow didn't go out to the theaters or whatever, it was like day and day release, wasn't it? It was very limited because it was coming out during the pandemic, right? She was caught up in all of that, so she sued them for her fair share of cut for breach of contract or something like that, right? So she hasn't lost, like she's saying that she's gotten good relationships, working relationships, which is good, except for that executive decision. And Bob Chapek, the previous CEO, was very responsible for putting the thumb down on her because of their perspectives, which I didn't really agree with. That stuff just kind of grossed me out, actually. Because I do believe that Scarlett Johansson, well, if you didn't know, she is my favorite actress of all time. So there you go. Scarlett Johansson says she will pre-buy tickets for Little Mermaid. I actually need to text my sister about it. Okay, so she's going to go see Little Mermaid. Cool. Scarlett Johansson covers the latest issue of Variety. Good. Red. That one's cool. That's good. I like that one. Kind of like a the fanning out of these are like palm fronds or something, leaves. Makes her almost kind of look like a peacock or something. Games, it's only male peacocks that do that, is it? I don't know. I like the black. Just looking at her eyeline there, there's something about her eyeline that doesn't seem right. It looks a little too sharp here. I know, because I've drawn her face a couple times and I've studied her eye shape. She was fabulous in The Horse Whisperer. Did you see that? With Robert Redford? Was that Redford? If I did, I've forgotten about it. Halle Bailey is receiving unanimous praise for her star-making performance as Halle Zariel, yeah. Melissa Barrera, Riley Keough to star in The One. It follows Taylor, who's made a last-ditch effort to find love. By becoming a contestant on a reality dating show, she and 2 other women compete to win the heart of Mason. Okay, so it's a variation on the Bachelor, right? Or Bachelorette. To find love. It's called The One. Okay. So it's going to have Nicholas Hoult, huh? Fascinating. Is he going to be the Bachelor, the one that they're all pining for? New trailer for, okay, that's a series. First teaser for Bird Box Barcelona. Bird Box Barcelona. So they made a sequel to Bird Box? It's going to be in Barcelona? Did I know this? It's obviously not going to have Sandra Bullock in it. Huh. That completely flew under the radar. July 14th. Huh. Bird Box Barcelona. I like the first Bird Box movie. I like the post-apocalyptic kind of feel to it. Yeah. Mario Casas and Georgina Campbell. Fascinating. All right, guys, that's 2 minutes before 12. I got to go here, and I got to take a call. But I will be back later this afternoon, probably for sure, for an hour. So we'll take a look at some other stuff. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe. I'll see you next time tomorrow for more movie news here on Mirror Domains.